Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite. Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite. Gokula Taruni Mandala Mahite. Gokula Taruni Mandala Mahite. Damodara Rati Vardhana Veshe Harinishkuta Vrinda Bippineshe. Damodara Rati Vardhana Veshe Harinishkuta Vrinda Bippineshe. Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite. Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite. Rishabhanu Dadi Tavashashi Leke Lalita Sakti Guna Ramita Vishake. Rishabhanu Dadi Tavashashi Leke Lalita Shakti Guna Ramita Vishake. Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite. Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite. Karunam Kurumai Karunabari Te Sanaka Sanatana Vanita Charite. Karunam Kurumai Karunabari Te Sanaka Sanatana Vanita Charite. Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite. Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite. So, Sri Radhikashtava was written by Srila Rupa Goswami, and the translation for what we just sang is glories to Sri Radharani, the beloved of Madhava and most worshipable of the coward girls of Gokul Mandala. Decorated by the dress of Lord Damodar's increasing ecstasy, you are the lady of the house of Lord Hari and the groves of Vrindavan. From the ocean of Rishabhanu has arisen a new moon, which is overwhelming the qualities of Lalita and Vishaka. O goddess, your qualities are described by Sanak and Sanatan Rishis and by Sanatan Goswami. Please bestow your mercy upon me. Om Jnana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye. He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopeka Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate. So when I was in Mayapur last year, I picked up a couple of books that I've been wanting to get. It's a compilation from Srila Prabhupada's writings on Srimati Radharani. This is the first volume, and Bhakti Purushottam Swami compiled all of this. So thank you to him for doing that. And we're reminded that Srila Prabhupada's father, Gaura Mohan Dey, he would ask any visiting Vaishnavas to bless his son Abhay to be a good devotee of Srimati Radharani. So Srila Prabhupada was blessed by Srimati Radharani to preach her glories all over the world. And that is why we're able to have this remembrance of Radhastami. So this first section is entitled Radha Tattva. And the title is, Who is Srimati Radharani? People in general do not know about Radharani. Radha Tattva is a very confidential subject matter, which is hidden even from the Vedas. As a result, there are many misconceptions or no conceptions at all about Radharani. Srila Prabhupada states in the Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Leela, chapter 4, verse 56, the two transcendentalists, Radha and Krishna, are a puzzle to materialists. The description of Radha and Krishna from the diary of Srila Sarup Damodar is a condensed explanation. But one needs great spiritual insight to understand the mystery of these two personalities. Radharani is not some ordinary lady, or even some special lady of this material world, with whom Lord Krishna was having his pastimes. She is the pleasure-giving potency of the Lord, rendering service unto him eternally in the material and spiritual realms. In his book, Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami has explained about Radharani by quoting a verse from the diary of Srila Sarup Damodar Goswami. Radha Krishna Pranaya Vikritir Ladini Shaktir Azmad Ekatmanavapi Bhuvi Puradeha Bedam Gutautau Chaitanyakyam Prakatam Aduna Tad Vayam Chaikyam Aptam Radha Bhavaduti Suvalitam Nomi Krishna Swarupam. Radha Krishna Eka Atma Duide Hadari Anyonye Vilase Rasa Asfadana Kori. The loving affairs of Radha and Krishna are transcendental manifestations of the Lord's internal pleasure-giving potency. Although Radha and Krishna are one in their identity, they separated themselves eternally. Now these two transcendental identities have again united in the form of Sri Krishna Chaitanya. I bow down to him who has manifested himself with the sentiment and complexion of Srimati Radharani, although he is Krishna himself. Radha and Krishna are one and the same, but they assume two bodies. Thus they enjoy each other, tasting the mellows of love. Purport. The two transcendentalists, Radha and Krishna, are a puzzle to materialists. The above description of Radha and Krishna from the diary of Srila Sarup Damodar Goswami is a condensed explanation, but one needs great spiritual insight to understand the mystery of these two personalities. One is enjoying in two. Sri Krishna is the potent factor, and Srimati Radharani is the internal potency. According to Vedanta philosophy, there is no difference between the potent and the potency. They are identical. We cannot differentiate between one and the other any more than we can separate fire from heat. In fact, Radharani is the internal potency of Sri Krishna, and she eternally intensifies the pleasure of Sri Krishna. Impersonalists cannot understand this without the help of a Maha Bhagavat devotee. The very name Radha suggests that Srimati Radharani is eternally the topmost mistress of the comforts of Sri Krishna. As such, she is the medium transmitting the living entity's service to Sri Krishna. Devotees in Vrindavan therefore seek the mercy of Srimati Radharani in order to be recognized as loving servitors of Sri Krishna. So that was taken from the Adi Leela of the Chaitanya Charitamrita, chapter 4, and verses 55 and 56. So Radharani is a manifestation of Krishna's love. Sri Radha is known as the Haladini Shakti, or the pleasure-giving potency of Krishna. Krishna is energetic, and Radha is energy. Radha and Krishna are one Atma in the sense that they are Shakti and Shaktiman. Even though they are one Atma, still, from time immemorial, they have manifested in two different forms in Goloka Vrindavan to enjoy sweet pastimes. Swayam Bhagavan Krishna has unlimited potencies, categorized in three divisions: the internal potency, or Antaranga Shakti, the external potency, or Bahyaranga Shakti, and marginal potency, or Tatashta Shakti. The marginal potency is Jiva Shakti. The external energy is the energy by which this material world is manifested, maintained, and annihilated. And the internal potency is his potency by which he maintains his spiritual world. So this internal potency, which is known as Swarup Shakti or Chit Shakti, has three aspects. Sandini Shakti is his aspect of eternal existence, the Lord's existential potency by which he maintains his existence. The essential portion of the Sandini potency, sorry about that, excuse me, something just slipped here. Pardon me for that interruption. The essential portion of the Sandini potency is Shuddha Sattva. Lord Krishna's existence rests upon it. Krishna's mother, father, abode, houses, bedding, seats, and so on are all transformations of Shuddha Sattva. Samvid Shakti is his aspect of cognizance or cognitive potency. Sorry about that, just lost my place for a moment. Samvit Shakti is his aspect of cognizance or cognitive potency, which is also accepted as knowledge, by which potency the Lord knows himself and causes others to know him. The essence of the Samvit potency is knowledge, that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is Lord Krishna. Ladini Shakti is his aspect of bliss, by which the Lord gets pleasure and devotees are nourished. By this, he possesses transcendental bliss and causes his devotees to experience bliss. Now we will discuss particularly about the Ladini Shakti. This is based on Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Leela, chapter 4, verses 68, 69, and 70. Ladinira Sara Prema, Prema Sara Bhava, Bhavira Parama Kashta Nama Mahabhava. The essence of the Hladini potency is love of God. The essence of love of God is emotion, bhava. And the ultimate development of emotion is mahabhava. Mahabhava Swarup Shri Radha Thakurani Sarva Guna Kani Krishna Kanta Shiromani. Shri Radha Thakurani is the embodiment of Mahabhav. She is the repository of all good qualities and the crest jewel among all the lovely consorts of Lord Krishna. Krishna Prema Bhavita Yanra Chitindriya Kaya Krishna Nija Shakti Radha Kridara Sahaya. Her mind, senses, and body are steeped in love for Krishna. She is Krishna's own energy, and she helps him in his pastimes. So in the purport, Srila Prabhupada explains that Srimati Radharani is as fully spiritual as Krishna. No one should consider her to be material. She is definitely not like the conditioned souls who have material bodies, gross and subtle, covered by material senses. She is all spiritual, and both her body and her mind are of the same spiritual embodiment. Because her body is spiritual, her senses are also spiritual. Thus, her body, mind, and senses fully shine in love of Krishna. She is the personified Glanini Shakti, the pleasure-giving energy of the Lord's internal potency, and therefore she is the only source of enjoyment for Sri Krishna. Sri Krishna cannot enjoy anything that is internally different from him. Therefore, Radha and Krishna are identical. The Sandini portion of Sri Krishna's internal potency has manifested the all-attractive form of Sri Krishna and the same internal potency in the Hladini feature has presented Srimati Radharani, who is the attraction for the all-attractive. No one can match Srimati Radharani in the transcendental pastimes of Sri Krishna. So also from chapter 4 of the Adi Leela of the Chaitanya Charitamrita, quoting verses 76, 77, and 82, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami states, Krishna Kanta Ganadeki Trivida Prakara Eka Lakshmi Ganapure Mahishi Ganara Vrajan Gana Rupa Ara Kanta Gana Sara Shri Radhika Hoite Kanta Ganera Vishtara. The beloved consorts of Lord Krishna are of three kinds: the goddess of fortune, the queens, and the milkmaids of Raj, who are the foremost of all. These consorts all proceed from Radhika. Avatari Krishna Yeche Kare Avatara Amshini Radha Hoite Tina Ganera Vishtara. Just as the fountainhead, Lord Krishna, is the cause of all incarnations, so Sri Radha is the cause of all these consorts. Govinda Nandini Radha, Govinda Mohini, Govinda Sarvasva, Sarvakanta Shiromani. Radha is the one who gives pleasure to Govinda, and she is also the enchantress of Govinda. She is the be-all and end-all of Govinda and the crest jewel of all his consorts. In the Brihad Gautamiya Tantra, it has been stated Devi Krishna Mai Prokta Radhika Paradevata Sarva Lakshmi Mai Sarva Kanti Samohini Pata Para. The transcendental goddess Srimati Radharani is the direct counterpart of Lord Sri Krishna. She is the central figure for all the goddesses of fortune. She possesses all the attractiveness to attract the all-attractive personality of Godhead. She is the primeval internal potency of the Lord. So these are more verses from chapter 4 of Chaitanya Charitamrita, verses 96 and 98. Jagat Mohana Krishna Tanhara Mohini Attaiva Samastera Paratakurani. Lord Krishna enchants the world, but Sri Radha enchants even him. Therefore, she is the supreme goddess of all. Radha Purna Shakti Krishna Purna Shakti Man Dui Vastu Vedanai Shastra Paraman. Shri Radha is the full power, and Lord Krishna is the possessor of full power. The two are not different, as evidenced by the revealed scriptures. Radha Krishna Aiche Sada Eka Iswarupa Lila Rasa Ashvadite Dari Dui Rupa. Thus Radha and Krishna are one, yet they have taken two forms to enjoy the mellows of pastimes. And again from chapter 4 of Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Lila, verses 59 and 60. Radhika Hayena Krishnara Pranaya Vikara Swarup Shakti Ladini Nama Yanhara. Srimati Radhika is the transformation of Krishna's love. She is his internal energy called Ladini. Ladini Karaya Krishna Anandash Vadana Ladini Radvara Kare Bhaktera Poshana. That Ladini energy gives Krishna pleasure and nourishes his devotees. So I'm going to stop for now. The next section is entitled The Greatness of Radharani's Love for Krishna. Thank you very much if you've tuned in to this glorification of Srimati Radharani. I hope to do that all this weekend, including on Monday. So I look forward to connecting with you later. Vancha kalpa trubhyascha kripasindubhya evacha patitanang pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srimati Radharani ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanandi, Hari Hari Bol, Hare Krishna.